Welcome to AutoFOCUS World, She Drives. This is a Kia K5 EX, one of the top vehicles in a mid-size sedan class. Now I'm going to tell you why this made my nominations for the AutoFOCUS Awards She Drives in the Ladies' Choice categories. So come on with me and let's check it out. From purchasing to making recommendations, influencers like you need intel. So I'm giving you a detailed breakdown of the K5 EX and why I'm nominating it for a Ladies' Choice Award. Now let's take a look at the exterior design. Right here on the front, in the hood, it slopes down very nicely for aerodynamics, leading right here to the Kia badge. And then we have our grille, really nicely designed right here. Below that is your bumper. Right below that is the actual spoiler. Okay, coming around the side, you see you've got a little bit of a protrusion here on the wings. It looks really slick. It gives it a really nice look. And you've got your air vents here as well. The headlights, LED coming around, wraps all the way around. A nice angular shape right here, all the way lit up. Really nice here. On the lower spoiler is your gills. Along the side here, you see there's that black gloss that's picked up on the outside. It's also right here on your side view mirrors. And this aluminum comes all the way across. Here we have our belt line, upper and lower belt line. And you can see there's variations in how this kind of protrudes a little bit, giving it a really sharp, slick look. Loving that. So here we go, more black gloss again, a nice little view back here. So let's take a look at the rear. Okay, starting from the top, you've got your sunroof. As you can see, that does slide back. And along here, there's black gloss that goes along the side. And again, the trim, that silver trim, the aluminum trim, continues all the way around and connects on both sides, giving a really unique look. I really love that because it's seamless from the top as well as through to the trunk. And here we have our rear lights, wrapping around once again all the way across, and of course Kia badge in the center, coming around all the way to both sides. So that's really very nice and a unique feature there. You've got your EX badge right along here and your K5 badge here. The rear bumper, again in that black gloss. Personally, I really love the exterior design on this. So now let's go take a look at the inside. Let's start with the design and the functionality. Of course, sitting in the driver's seat, what am I looking at? I'm looking at the dash. And directly in front of me is the instrument panel. Dash here and the shelf, which has a really interesting hood that makes it much more easy for you to see, especially if there's bright lights or such coming on the inside. In front of me, you have your instrument panel that also gives you your speedometer. It tells you how fast you're going. It tells you the temperature, and it has some other features as far as the tachometer is concerned. The steering wheel, nicely leather wrapped. Accents on here that really makes it pop a little bit. You've got your Kia badge right here in the center. As we move across the dash, we're looking at the infotainment center. This is really the brainchild of the vehicle because it allows you to control everything on here, from your radio to the media to your track to your setup. Your map and your navigation systems are also right here. Now the screen here is a little over 10 inches, which is really great because it's a nice big screen. You can see everything very, very clearly. And it's finished in a nice black gloss. It's a nice wood grain finish. It's not actual wood, but it looks pretty good. And it breaks up the two shelves from your dash, your upper dash, as well as a secondary level right here that gives you a little bit of a lip. That's really cool. If you notice, the wood trim runs all the way across from the door, all the way across the dash shelf right here, and through the other side of the door, which gives it a nice linear look. It breaks up the whole thing and it gives you lots of different dimension and textures. We have our controls for our sync, and we also have our auto controls here. This allows you to adjust your vents. It allows that system or increase or lower the amount of air that you're letting in. Below that, a nice little cove that allows you to put extra items. You can store your phone, you can store other items here as well, but it also has your charger ports. You have two cup holders right here. Below that, it also has different driving modes. So you can drive in sport mode, you can drive in auto, you can drive in an easier mode, economic, all of that. Right behind these controls is a place where you can actually charge your phone wireless connection, which I think is just great because a lot of the times you actually forget your charger port. So this will be wonderful and really, really practical. Going behind that as well is another location for you to have extra storage. Ladies, you know we have so much stuff that we have to carry with us. This is great that you can tuck it away very nicely and neatly. Voila! Now let's take a look at the door. Here we have a nice black on the top. This has a nice little shelf up here. The Bose speaker up here. You have your controls for your seating. This allows you to have ventilation here, whether it's heating or cooling ventilation. Of course, your door handle. And along here, as I mentioned earlier, you have a little bit of a wood trim grain that actually separates these particular areas right here. And then your door shelf along here. And then there's a nice little ridge, so when you're holding, you know, if you're sitting there and you got your armrest, you've got something to kind of hold on to. Below that is your second speaker, a bigger one, Bose badge along here. In addition to that, right along here on the interior of the door is additional storage. Now let's take a look at the seats. On the interior, you'll notice that this gray carries all the way through, even throughout the doors. But as we look at the seat, we're here, the headrest, really nice and firm, nice and plush. We've got the double stitching here, down the middle, ventilated seating right here, having the seats on the sides, a little bit raised on both sides, which kind of hugs you and keeps you in position and keeps you comfortable. So as I'm sitting in the seat, I can tell you that it's really very comfortable. As I noted earlier, you've got your side lips right here that are hugging you really closely and making it very comfortable. It's also well padded right underneath my knees. And right here along the sides is your adjustments for your seat. So for the ladies, because we come in all shapes and sizes, this allows you to adjust up. You can go up higher, or if you're a little bit taller like myself, you can go lower. That gives you a little bit more comfort level. And of course, it goes forward and backwards. Gives you lots of seating positions for whatever size that you may be. Now, back support is very important, especially if you're on long drives, or maybe you're just stuck in traffic and you're behind the wheel for a long period of time. Having this lumbar support can be very helpful, and it certainly can help to relieve some of the tension that you may feel in your lower back just sitting behind the wheel. When you push the button, you can actually feel the pressure and you can feel the lumbar expanding to your lower back, and it helps to give you a little bit of a relief and a push right here to give you a bit of an arch, and that helps a lot to relieve the pressure. Well, here you notice that the EX has this really great panoramic sunroof. And it's a beautiful shelf right here. It allows just enough sun in, but it also is clear so you can see all the way through. I love a sunroof. And right here is your control that allows for easy access. Right here in the center is your gear control, a perfect size for my hands. And as you can see, it's nice and rubbery, so you've got a firm grip right here, but it also has a nice accents of the aluminum. I always enjoy that. So here we have the sounds of nature. And right now I have it on rainy day, which listen to this. Nice. There's nothing more relaxing than hearing the raindrops falling against your window or what have you, but it really is very soothing. Then there's a warm, crackling fireplace. Soothing. Makes me think of having a nice glass of wine along with that. Then we have the snowy village. How cool is that? Okay, you know, you're caught up in traffic. This is really going to help you a lot. Just by taking you away for just a moment to a different place and giving you a chance to woosah and just relax. As much as I love to drive, I also actually enjoy being in the back seat and simply being a passenger. Because back here, it's much more relaxing, no stress in actually having to deal with the traffic. So what I like about this is that the back seat, these are actually very comfortable, very plush. I like the fact also that there's a bit of a curvature on both outside seats that hugs you just like the front seat does. Even though the seat is pushed back pretty well, I still have ample leg space. And it also has nice little pockets here for storage. You have your own controls here for the ventilation, as well as additional charger ports. There are speakers on both doors, which gives you that full sound in the back seat as well. And so now let's go on to the center right here. Of course, it's an additional seat for a smaller person, but it also has your pull down with 2 additional cup holders for your beverage. But I also love this because I like to sit in the back seat, and when I'm back here, I'm usually getting some work done, so I can use it as a shelf for a laptop if I need to. So let's take a look at the trunk. Here we go. First of all, it's an automatic pop-up. There we go, loving that. And as you look on the inside, it's got about 15 cubic feet of space, which is quite ample space to carry around, I don't know, maybe about 20 bags of groceries or so. Equipment if you need to move that around. If you've got kids and they need to carry around sports equipment, there's lots of room in the trunk. Now if you need to go on a trip, there's ample room for at least 4 or 5, maybe even more suitcases. And in addition to that, the back seats, both of them fold down with this pull release lever right here that would give you additional space as well. It's a beautiful golden sunset evening and a perfect time to drive, so come along for the ride. My first impression is how smooth this K5 is as I'm heading into the first lap at the testing site. I'm impressed by the lightness of the steering and the comfort. Halfway through the first lap, I'm testing the acceleration, just trying to get a feel for it. And at this point, it's quite responsive. Going into the second lap, I'm going to push it a little more to see how well it accelerates. Okay. It's estimated that the K5 reaches 0 to 60 in 8.2 seconds. So this 180 horsepower turbocharged engine is something I can appreciate. As I complete the second lap, it's time to have some fun. Testing the turning ratio. Hang on! It's stable on the turns, but I'm not swaying right or left due to the seating grip, and the four-wheel independent suspension keeps everything level. Ladies, in case you didn't know, four-wheel independent suspension just means that all 4 wheels make contact with the ground at all times, and that gives you better ride quality and handling. You can feel that when you're in the turn. It tells you a lot about a car because it puts stress on the corner structure and the tires. Cars with smaller turning ratios are easier to handle. This is especially true when driving and maneuvering in tight spaces. Now this K5 was a lot of fun to drive. I can't wait to spend more time behind the wheel to really check it out. All in all, I was pleased with the drive. And a price point of just under $30,000 makes it a strong contender in the class. So that's it for this edition of AutoFOCUS World She Drives, featuring the 2021 Kia K5 EX. Now be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell for notifications. Also, make a comment and do in fact share. Be sure to also follow us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so that we can be in touch. We definitely love to hear from you and hear your feedback, so be sure to stay connected. That's it again. I'm Woody, and I'll see you all next time.